Obama has declared war on Pakistan, can't attack directly because of nuclear deterrence, therefore a secret war, an oblique war, fourth-generation warfare by riling up the Pashtuns and indeed the Baluchis, starting a civil war in Pakistan, destroying them that way without direct intervention. Now, interestingly, the BBC says they think they know where bin Laden is, and they think he's in Afghanistan. How interesting. Embarrassing in some ways for the U.S. intelligence forces. The BBC has come up with a source saying that he went to Afghanistan to meet the Sheikh, bin Laden, and they said, oh, yeah, you can meet him. He's in the province of Ghazni in central Afghanistan, which is not what all these other characters say. Anyway, the point is this policy has got to be opposed resolutely. A direct rebuff to Obama, the top warmonger. Dump Obama. Oust Butcher Barkey. Dump Obama in 2012. We need an anti-war candidate in the Democratic Party primaries because that's where Obama is going to be seeking the Democratic Party nomination. One interesting thing, you notice that the pullout, which is, of course, a big lot of hokum, there will be no pullout, but the pullout is supposed to begin in July 2011. Gosh, just in time for the Iowa straw poll, and it'll be going great guns, says Obama, by January 2012, the New Hampshire primary that he obviously fears. So that's what you have to act on. Emergency anti-war demonstration, Lafayette Park, White House, Saturday, December 12th, 12-12 day, 11 a.m. Stop the Obama-Reid-Pelosi escalation of the Afghan war with Cynthia McKinney, Senator Mike Gravel, two presidential candidates from the last cycle, plus representatives of the World Can't Wait, the Answer Coalition, other distinguished groups, various Green parties, and others. So that is a regroupment of the peace movement. Do what you can to make that a success. And if you're too far away, think of having your own parallel event. What are the demands? An immediate ceasefire. We've got to have an immediate ceasefire in Afghanistan. And you can get that immediately. You tell the Taliban, look here, boys, we're going to be leaving. Don't interfere with the departure. Fine, you've got a ceasefire. Then you pull out the forces as fast as is coherent with the safety of the operation. Stop predator drone attacks, stop assassinations, black sites, kidnap operations, renditions, and all the rest of it. Stop all that stuff. Stop CIA, Blackwater, and other U.S. covert operations in Pakistan and Iran. Stop these regime change operations in Iran, for that matter. And as far as NATO is concerned, this thug, Fogh Rasmussen, Fogh, F-A-U-X, I think, Fogh Rasmussen says he's got 7,000 NATO Soldateska to be delivered into the Kush. Well, no details. We're not even told. Is it Germany? Is it France? Come on, Fogh. Who is it? No, says Fogh Rasmussen. No. We'll work out the details later. The entire NATO alliance is bet on this, and it's possible that NATO may be a casualty of this. NATO could collapse as a result of the likely defeat of this policy or the blowback of it, which I guess may be what we now need. Certainly we ought to say, at the very least, end all NATO out-of-area deployments. No more out-of-area deployments. Take NATO back to a purely defensive alliance in the North Atlantic area. Make it the area covered by the 1949 original treaty. None of this expansion, no out-of-area deployments, none of this stuff. So that is the dossier on Afghanistan and Pakistan. Now, let me point out, we had this jobs summit by Obama. We've got to give this at least some attention. The idea of having a jobs summit is straight out of Herbert Hoover. Get yourself the third volume of Herbert Hoover's memoirs. We'll be going back to this maybe next week. This is the kind of stuff that Herbert Hoover did. It confirms once again Obama is Herbert Hoover. The other Republicans are Andrew Mellon, right? The more reactionaries, they're like Andrew Mellon or Heinrich Brüning. But Obama's Herbert Hoover. He's not the New Deal. He's Herbert Hoover. He's, in this case, voluntary corporatism. Obama's been trying compulsory corporatism. He's gotten some blowback on that. The Jobs Summit is simply, it's really just a photo op propaganda opportunity. But if it has any content at all, it is this idea, hey, guys, you should hire more. Herbert Hoover tried it. He had many of these things. He went on tour with it. It's a failure. It does not work. Rather, what you need is an economic development program and a recovery program. Now, as we've stressed in the past, there are only 4 ways to do this. One is the hot money approach, 0% credit for speculators. That's what Bernanke is doing. That leads to the dollar carry trade. That money flies abroad. It destroys the value of the dollar because it goes to hot money markets, Dubai and Latvia and places like this, leading towards hyperinflation. That's a failure. The other one is the sort of classical Keynesian, non-productive but consumer-led recovery featuring government spending, maybe productive, maybe not so much so. This is Pelosi and the House Democrats. Then there's the deflationary route. That is an immediate deflationary crash. This would be the Austrian school, Ron Paul, Peter Schiff are interested in this. Well, this is what Brüning did in Germany, 1931, 31, and indeed into 32. This unfortunately destroys the political institutions of the country to the point where the authoritarian dictatorship becomes unavoidable. In particular, Brüning tried to take down the unemployment benefits, the unemployment insurance in Germany at the time, and that, of course, was a disaster. It destroyed the SPD, meaning the main party that was in favor of democratic government, so this was an absolute disaster. There's much to be said why the deflationary crash with then this promise that somehow the magic of the marketplace is going to give you a recovery. It's bunk. It didn't happen then, it won't happen now. The 4th way is the one we need. Take control of the central bank. Don't confirm Bernanke. Seize it, nationalize it, open up that Main Street lending window. Obviously, nationalize the whole thing if you can, but if you have to nationalize a part of it, create the Main Street lending window, 0% credit for massive national infrastructure projects for the coast-to-coast maglev, 50,000 miles of maglev, 1,000 high-temperature pebble bed 4th-generation nuclear reactors immediately. Rebuild the entire interstate highway system, greatest since the Romans. It deserves to survive. Rebuild all those bridges. Rebuild the water systems. Another big water main break here in the Washington suburbs just in the past week. And 0% credit for production only, not for speculation, only for infrastructure and for the productive components that go into that, as well as for production in general. And don't stop there. Get yourself an agenda of international projects, the Bering Strait, the Cape to Cairo, the Dakar to Djibouti, the Mekong Delta Development Project, the Indus Development, the Ganges Brahmaputra, the Nile Congo, the Amazon Rio de la Plata, all the rest of it. International great projects of infrastructure in which U.S. private sector companies are going to become, to some degree, prime contractors. This is what is effective. Now, notice, Bernanke wants to wreck and loot Social Security and Medicare. Bernanke is under fire, of course. He's got holds on him from Bernie Sanders. He may well have a hold on him also from Senator Bunning, the old pitcher from the Yankees. But Bernanke says, I'm like Willie Sutton, the money is in entitlements, Social Security, and Medicare. Those are the ones we want to loot. Now, even the people that oppose Bernanke, right, Ron Paul and others who have do a good job on the audit side of that, do they agree with that? Do they agree that Social Security and Medicare should be defunded? That would seem to be what Austrian doctrine would indicate, and that would mean that they would agree with Ben Bernanke on those points. Gosh, I wonder what the reality is. We'll be back in just a minute.